Welcome back. Rare Coin Insider. The United States $quarter coin of 1967 is one of the most interesting coins from the modern American coinage era. At first glance, many people see this coin as an ordinary piece of pocket change worth only 25 cents, but for collectors and coin enthusiasts, the 1967 quarter represents a fascinating period in American history. Certain examples, especially those with rare minting errors, exceptional preservation, or unique characteristics, can be worth far more than their face value, with some high-grade and rare error examples reaching impressive prices among collectors. The value of a normal 1967 quarter usually ranges from a small premium above face value to several dollars depending on condition, while exceptional examples and rare varieties can sell for much higher amounts, with some notable error coins reaching significant prices at auction. To truly understand why the 1967 quarter has become a popular collectible, we have to travel back to the 1960s, a period when the United States was experiencing a major coin shortage. During the early 1960s, the price of silver was increasing rapidly, and because American dimes, quarters, and half dollars had traditionally been made with silver, many people began removing these coins from circulation. They realized that the silver content inside the coins could become more valuable than the actual money represented by the coins themselves. The United States government faced a serious problem. Millions of silver coins were disappearing from circulation because people were saving them, and businesses throughout the country struggled to obtain enough coins for everyday transactions. To solve this crisis, the government passed the Coinage Act of 1965, one of the most important changes in modern American coin history. This law removed silver from the quarter dollar and replaced the old 90% silver composition with a modern copper and nickel-clad construction. The 1967 Washington quarter was created during this historic transition period. Unlike quarters produced before 1965, which contained valuable silver, the 1967 coin was made from a combination of metals consisting of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper center. This created a durable and affordable coin that could be produced in massive numbers without relying on expensive silver. The weight of the 1967 quarter is 5.67 grams, which remains the standard weight for modern United States quarters. The diameter of the coin is approximately 24.3 millimeters, and its thickness is around 1.75 millimeters. These precise measurements are important because collectors often examine a coin's weight and size to determine whether it has been altered, damaged, or contains an unusual minting error. One of the most unusual aspects of the 1967 quarter is the absence of a mint mark. Normally, American coins include a small letter indicating the mint facility where they were produced, such as D for the Denver Mint or S for the San Francisco Mint. However, from 1965 through 1967, the United States Mint deliberately removed mint marks from coins. Officials believed that collectors searching for certain mint marks were contributing to coin hoarding, making the coin shortage even worse. Therefore, every genuine 1967 quarter was produced without a mint mark, regardless of the facility where it was manufactured. Many beginners become confused and think a 1967 quarter without a mint mark is a rare mistake, but in reality, having no mint mark is completely normal for this year. In fact, a 1967 quarter with a visible mint mark would likely be suspicious and would require professional examination because official coins of this date were not supposed to display one. The design of the 1967 quarter carries the famous image of George Washington, the first president of the United States. The Washington quarter design was originally introduced in 1932 to celebrate the 200th anniversary of Washington's birth. The portrait appearing on the front of the coin, known as the obverse, was created by sculptor John Flanagan. His design has become one of the most recognizable images in American coinage history. On the obverse side of the 1967 quarter, George Washington is shown facing left with a dignified and powerful appearance. Above his head appears the word Liberty, representing one of the core principles of the United States. Below Washington's portrait appears the date, 1967, identifying the year the coin was struck. The phrase, "In God We Trust," is located to the left of Washington's neck, a motto that appears on many American coins and reflects a long-standing tradition in United States currency. The reverse side of the 1967 quarter features a magnificent bald eagle with its wings spread wide. The eagle is perched on a bundle of arrows, representing readiness and strength, while two olive branches below symbolize peace. Above the eagle are the words, United States of America, and below appears the denomination, quarter dollar. The national motto, E pluribus unum, meaning, out of many one, is displayed above the eagle's head, representing the unity of the American states. The symbol of the quarter dollar is represented by the dollar sign and its fractional value, written as 25 cents or 25 cents. Although the coin itself does not display the symbol dollar, its denomination as a quarter of $1 has made it one of the most recognized forms of American currency throughout the world. During 1967, the United States Mint produced an enormous number of quarters to help end the nationwide coin shortage. More than 1.5 billion quarters were struck that year, making it one of the highest mintage Washington quarters in American history. Because so many examples were produced, ordinary circulated 1967 quarters are extremely common and usually carry little premium over face value. However, condition is everything in the world of coin collecting. A 1967 quarter that has spent decades passing from one person to another may show scratches, worn details, and a dull surface. These common circulated coins may only be worth around 25 cents to a small premium. But a coin that has been preserved in perfect or nearly perfect condition can be much more valuable. Collectors use a grading system to judge the quality of a coin. The lowest grades represent heavily worn coins, while the highest grades, known as mint state grades, represent coins that have never entered circulation and still display their original mint luster. A 1967 quarter graded in high mint state condition can be worth dozens of dollars, and exceptional examples with extraordinary quality have sold for much higher prices. Another reason the 1967 quarter attracts attention is because of the possibility of mint errors. A mint error occurs when something unusual happens during the manufacturing process, creating a coin that differs from the normal design. These mistakes can transform an ordinary 25-cent coin into a highly sought-after collectible worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Some of the most desirable 1967 quarter errors include double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, broad strikes, and coins struck on the wrong metal planchets. These rare mistakes are often discovered by collectors, who carefully inspect old coins using magnifying glasses and specialized equipment. A small detail that most people might ignore can sometimes become the feature that makes a coin extremely valuable. The excitement of searching through old change for a valuable 1967 quarter has inspired many collectors around the world. Every coin has a story, and each scratch, mark, and detail can reveal where it has traveled over many decades. Although millions of ordinary examples exist, the dream of finding a rare error or an exceptionally preserved specimen continues to make the 1967 quarter one of the most searched modern American coins. As collectors continue to study the 1967 Washington quarter, they often discover that the smallest differences can make the biggest impact on a coin's value. The process of creating a quarter begins with large sheets of metal that are cut into blank discs called planchets. These planchets are cleaned, prepared, and then struck with tremendous pressure between two engraved dies that transfer the detailed design of George Washington and the American eagle onto the metal. Since billions of quarters were produced, occasional mistakes were unavoidable, and those mistakes have become some of the most fascinating treasures in modern numismatics. One of the most famous varieties is the double die error. This occurs when the coin die receives a doubled image during the manufacturing process, causing certain letters, numbers, or design details to appear doubled on the final coin. A genuine double die 1967 quarter can attract serious attention from collectors because these errors are difficult to find and highly desirable. Another exciting error is an off-center strike. During production, if the blank planchet is not perfectly aligned inside the coining press, the design may be stamped only partially onto the coin. The result can be a dramatic-looking quarter where part of the design is missing and a blank area remains visible. The value depends on how far off-center the strike is and whether the date remains visible. Some attractive examples can sell for hundreds of dollars. Clipped planchet errors are another category that collectors search for. These occur before the coin is struck when the machine cutting the metal blanks accidentally overlaps a previous cut, leaving a curved section missing from the coin. A genuine clipped 1967 quarter can be worth significantly more than a regular quarter depending on the size and appearance of the clip. There are also broad strike errors, where the coin is struck without the collar that normally holds the metal in shape. This causes the quarter to spread outward, creating a larger and thinner coin with no normal raised edge. Such unusual pieces are immediately noticeable and can command premium prices among collectors. Perhaps the most spectacular errors are wrong planchet strikes. These occur when a quarter design is accidentally struck onto a metal blank intended for another denomination. Because the weight, color, and composition will be different from a normal 5.67 gram clad quarter, these rare mistakes can be extremely valuable and sometimes sell for thousands of dollars depending on their rarity and condition. The market value of a 1967 quarter depends on several important factors: condition, rarity, eye appeal, and whether it contains a verified mint error. A typical circulated 1967 quarter is usually worth only its face value of 25 cents because of the huge number produced. A beautiful uncirculated example may sell for several dollars, while superior mint state examples with strong luster and minimal imperfections can reach much higher prices. Professional grading services play a major role in determining a coin's market value. Companies examine the coin under magnification, confirm whether it is authentic, identify any errors, and assign a numerical grade based on its preservation. A high-grade certified 1967 quarter can attract competitors. Some of the highest quality 1967 quarters have achieved impressive auction prices, especially those graded at the top of the mint state scale or those possessing unusual mint errors. The combination of rarity and exceptional preservation can transform a simple quarter into a coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. This is why experienced collectors always recommend checking old coin collections, inherited jars of change, and forgotten coin albums carefully before spending old coins. When examining a 1967 quarter at home, collectors usually check several important details. They look for the original bright mint luster, sharp hair details on George Washington, clean surfaces without heavy scratches, and any unusual marks that might indicate an error. They also weigh the coin because an incorrect weight can sometimes suggest a wrong planchet error. The 1967 Washington quarter represents a unique moment in American history. It was born during a time when the nation was transitioning away from silver coinage and adapting to new materials. It represents the government's effort to solve the coin shortage and marks the final year of the temporary removal of mint marks from United States coins. More than half a century has passed since these quarters first entered circulation. They have traveled through millions of hands, purchased countless goods, and become silent witnesses to American history. While most remain ordinary coins, a few extraordinary examples have achieved collector status and prove that even a simple piece of everyday money can become a valuable historical artifact. The possibility of finding a rare 1967 quarter keeps the excitement of coin hunting alive. Every time someone opens an old coin jar or receives change from a transaction, there is always the small chance that an unusual error, a perfect uncirculated specimen, or a hidden treasure could appear. That mystery is what makes coin collecting one of the most exciting hobbies in the world. So before you spend your next quarter, take a moment to look closely at the date, examine the details, and appreciate the history held in your hand. The 1967 Washington quarter may look like an ordinary 25-cent coin, but behind its copper and nickel surface lies a remarkable story of economic change, artistic craftsmanship, American heritage, and the endless thrill of discovering hidden value. A tiny coin from the past can carry a journey of more than 50 years, and sometimes the smallest discoveries become the greatest treasures. The next valuable coin might already be waiting quietly in a pocket, an old drawer, or a forgotten collection, ready to reveal its story to the person who takes the time to look.